Hey, good morning, everybody. Going to go over our Forex trades for today, Tuesday, July 12th. Doing a video a little early this morning, not a lot going on. We didn't do any scalping this morning, so we did protect our profits from last night on a swing correlation trade between Aussie dollar and Kiwi dollar. So we'll go over that in a minute. First, just want to talk about some economic news. Last night was announced that U.S. consumers are no longer eating out as the restaurant guest counts tumbles to 3-year lows. That could mean trouble for the non-farm payroll numbers going forward. What else came out last night? A Dutch politician, I can't really say his last name, De Jesselbloem. He says bank bail-ins are a very sound economic principle for the Italian banks. And we've been talking about the Italian banks have been in massive trouble. So obviously this belief is picking up steam amongst central bankers and the politicians as well, that the government won't have to bail out the banks, that the depositors will have to bail out the banks. So you have to be careful with your money in banks these days. Double Lines Gunluck, which is one of the most high-profile hedge funds out there. He's been considered now the new bond king. He thinks things are going to get a lot worse as as they're relying on central bankers and not fundamentals. So that was an interesting comment. IMF last night warned of a global contagion from the Italian banking crisis, forecast a 2-decade-long recession. Could you imagine? A little bit closer to this morning, what did we get here? Wholesale inventories missed estimates and wholesale sales missed estimates. Wholesale inventory to sales is holding at recessionary highs, so not good news there. And it is official, so Ben Bernanke met with Kuroda and Abe of the Bank of Japan, a close advisor. Now, Ben Bernanke didn't have any comments when the meeting broke up late yesterday, but a close advisor to the Prime Minister said who was in the meeting said that Ben Bernanke did discuss helicopter money with the Bank of Japan. Now, we know yesterday Bank of Japan announced increasing their stimulus by 80 trillion yen, 100 trillion yen, something like that, which is somewhere around $1 billion. But there's been a lot of rumors that they may even announce helicopter money, which means the government directly giving money to their citizens every month on a monthly basis for a certain period of time, where the thinking is that those people would then take the money and spend it, which would fuel the economy. Not sure if it'll work. It's never been done before, but obviously it's been discussed, as we know now. So Ben Bernanke is a big pusher of it. So we will see what comes over the next few weeks if anything like that is announced from Japan. Absolutely incredible. What we're seeing is complete history. It's never been done before. It's a financial experiment to the likes of, I don't know, like we've never seen. If you were to look up, just as an example, if you looked up a chart comparing earnings to the Dow Jones, earnings of those companies in the Dow Jones, or even the S&P 500 for that matter here in the States, you'll find a major disconnect. And we all know earnings and future earnings is what drives equity prices. Massive disconnect. So either equity prices are going to have to come down or earnings are going to have to shoot up. Not too sure earnings can shoot up in this environment. But then again, not too sure equity prices can come down, because equity prices, bonds, currencies, everything is addicted to fiscal stimulus by these central banks. So obviously the central bankers, from the Fed to other central bankers, want to control markets as much as possible. Their job is to tweak and control economies, not financial markets. So they're either going to be massively right, and it's going to go down in history as the greatest move ever, or it's going to go down in history as the greatest blunder ever in the financial markets. So we will see. So anyway, let's go over our swing correlation that we had last night between Aussie dollar and Kiwi dollar. So the algorithm was pointing very, very well for the Aussie dollar. Over 80% odds she was going to rally. Instead of just taking the trade alone, we correlated it with the Kiwi dollar. They're highly correlated. We took 50% of our normal size with Aussie dollar. With that said, we took 40% of our normal size with the Kiwi dollar in the opposite direction, just to offset the risk that we're going to take. It started to move up pretty quickly. You can see what happened. Obviously, I don't know, as this move happens here, what exactly would have transpired here. So, but it was getting late last night. We were up 16.5 pips on the Aussie dollar, as you can see there, adjusted for size 8.2, while at the same time, Kiwi dollar really wasn't moving. It had only went up about 1.5 pips, 1.4 pips to be exact. So we covered the position, both of them at the same time. So on Aussie dollar, we picked up the 16.5, size adjusted for size 8.2. Kiwi dollar, we lost 1.4, adjusted for size 0.6. So adjusted for size between the two, we picked up 7.6 on, I don't want to say a riskless trade, but a trade that greatly reduces our directional risk. As you can tell, we've been using more and more of the correlation. It makes a lot of sense, especially in this environment. You don't know if central bankers are going to announce something out of the blue like they did yesterday with the yen. You know, and if you're taking just a directional trade and you're short, say, dollar yen, for example, as soon as the Bank of Japan made that announcement, dollar yen took off. And you would have got stopped out very quickly no matter what you were risking. I mean, you could have been risking 30 pips, 100 pips, 200 pips. You would have been stopped out because it was a huge move. So with that said, if you correlate it with the opposite direction, the opposite direction is going to be a profitable trade. It's just a matter of your money management at that point. So we'll take the 7.6 and we'll move on. Not going to do any scalping today. Going to book these profits. We are looking at maybe another swing correlation in these two pairs again. Could set up later this evening. We will find out. So that's it. If you're still trading now, good luck. If any signals happen to come out, they'll be coming your way. And we'll be back tomorrow, assuming we get some action tonight, tomorrow morning. Have a great rest of your day.